Hello, I'm Mischa Cook, and this is my coming out story. Gosh, where do I start? I think growing up, I've always been different. I always used to play with my sister's Barbies, and I used to play dress up with the jewellery and all the clip on earrings. I used to love hairbands and earrings when I was younger. My mum always knew I was secretly in the wardrobe, trying on the high heels and all her clothes. Mum would tell me that my dad would soon be home. And although my father was open minded, it may have been a lot to handle, so it stayed between the two of us. As I was growing up, it was awful not knowing what transgender or gay was. As I grew older, I went to school. I started to notice that I fancied the boys. I was confused because I fancied girls too. I had many girlfriends, but I was still interested in the boys. I went to a boarding school, of course, and there was a lot of experimenting that happened. I got caught, whoops. I got caught, and I think it was a Tuesday evening. Bearing in mind that back then there were no mobile phones and no emails, my teachers faxed a message to my parents saying that Mischa has something to tell you on Friday. My parents were worried sick for the whole week. On Friday, I remember the staff telling me that you must tell your parents. I'm disappointed the other boy didn't have to tell his parents anything. When I arrived home, my heart was pounding. I was so nervous. I was thinking, how do I tell them? Maybe I say something like, I got caught with a boy and I think I'm gay. I don't know. I avoided my parents as much as I could. We sat down for dinner. I was on my laptop. Then we'd start to eat and they'd ask me if I was doing well. I responded, I'm fine, while looking down. I was so nervous. I didn't want to tell them yet. They were on the sofa and they were gazing over at me. They prompted the conversation and they said that they'd received a message from the head. Tell us. I explained I got caught with another boy and I may be gay. I'm really sorry. And they replied, Is that it? And they said, We wasted valuable Coronation Street time. And they said, We're not angry. We still love you. We respect you. We knew there was something, but we never wanted to say. But thank you for telling us. They were more annoyed at how the school dealt with the matter and forcing me to come out this way. Knowing I had the support from my family really helped me in school and with my friendships. That period of my life had no bullying, and it was a pleasant time for me, thankfully. I only had a few issues with my CS staff or the teachers. I became proud and flamboyant, and this resulted in having to live in my own room when everyone else shared a room. This was over a period of 3 long years, through the important time of my puberty. It was a really tough time. I felt emotional, I would cry a lot and wish I was straight, because then I could have perhaps integrated with my year. Around 15 to 16 years old, I went to a nightclub. It was a famous gay club. I entered and it was my first experience of drag and transgender. And I knew from that moment I wanted to be a woman. After this, on the weekends, I'd go to parties and deaf events. And they were always themed, so this became my chance to dress up as a woman. There were Chicago nights, superhero nights, So this was a regular opportunity for me. So every weekend I dress as a woman, because in school I wasn't allowed. When I was in sixth form, it was casual clothes day or fancy dress day. My year all agreed to dress as girls for the day. They all made an effort, but I glammed up and really looked the part. I looked so good. We all queued up, the staff let all the boys in, but they didn't allow me in. I said, I look the same as all of them. And I went back to my room because they told me I had to change, and I bawled my eyes out. I said to the CS staff, the only difference is I put more makeup on and I dressed up fully. I knew that when I left, I would go back home and I could be a woman. If I had a trans role model back then, I knew that I'd have transitioned at the drop of a hat. There wasn't any information on deaf trans role models. When I became a woman, there still wasn't much information out there. I think the earlier I was diagnosed, the happier I would have been. So I've spoken about homosexuality, being transgender, and now being a lesbian. I prefer the term pansexual, which means I fancy people, no matter their gender. The process of becoming a woman was a long process, comprising of many GP, psychiatrist visits and counselling sessions. Many times the interpreter would be cancelled, which would mean postponing for like 3 months. It was an excruciatingly hard time. And to think that now I have a wife and 2 children on the way. I define my life as perfect right now.
Dad.